Alright, hello everyone. I am going to be practicing some Undernight Wagner combos today. I'm entering Combo Breaker next weekend. I'll be playing Street Fighter 2, or Super Turbo, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, Street Fighter 5, although I'm not really into that game too much right now. It's still fun to enter at big tournaments because you could run into some really top level players. I'm entering the mystery game tournament, and I'm entering Unist, so this is kind of the first time I'm going to really get a lot of practice in today. Let's see if my audio. I wonder if there's a way to reduce the volume on here. Just kind of put these back on my head a little bit. Alright, so I'm not any kind of good at this game, but I'd like to become better because it's kind of the really popular game right now, and it's pretty fun. And I think I'm going to actually just do tutorial first. I want the character mission. There we go. I've played a lot of Wagner, but I haven't done her missions or anything like that. Take these off. Alright. That's like the starter combo. Okay. Okay. Now this is kind of the what I've been doing, kind of like Marvel style combo, like Tatsunoko versus Capcom, because you can do stuff afterwards. That's like the increased version. Can I do stuff afterward? Okay. Add that on there. My button presses are pretty loud. If I should move my mic over just a little bit. Ooh, that's still loud. Hopefully it's not too terrible. Alright, got that one already. stuff after that. Just set up your sword or your shield. Okay. Really bad damage for what you get out of that. Definitely get a lot more damage out of not doing that. Down A plus D? Oh, that's a foot stun. Okay. I don't think I should really foot stomp there though. I don't think these are that far off from what I'm already doing. So let's just practice the bread and butters that I normally do. And try to, I don't know, incorporate some of the like this stuff into it. Do you want to play Windjammers? Yeah, if you want to come over. I don't have PS Plus. It's a lot. Oh, what time is this train at? back in 1 minute. Alright, I'm back. Okay, so that works in the corner, but I need to figure out if it works mid-screen. So if I do like, that gives me a lot more reach. But then I have to do something else there. Okay. I know that. Yeah. like a different timing. For the OTG at the end of the combo, or midway through the combo, I guess. Nope. Nope. Maybe something like that. That's probably what I'm supposed to be doing. There's so many different, like, I guess you'd say combo routes. Okay, let me... See, that all works. Something like that, maybe? Okay, so if I do... Oh, I just keep doing the wrong thing. Oh, looks like we got a couple people coming over. We're gonna do a little bit of Windjammers, maybe, just for a little while.
Yeah, I used to think track 7 was the most depressing, and then track 11. It's just like, you know what? No, track 11 is more depressing.
Hello, hello.
What's up, John?
That does not combo. Okay, so how about this thing?
Yeah, I can't play on PS Plus with you. Sorry.
I don't have PS Plus.
I know. That is the joke.
I have thought about buying the Switch version because I actually have the Switch Online thing.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of like waiting for Windjammers 2. It should be soon enough on there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can switch this game that I'm bad at to this other game that I'm bad at.
Yeah. Don't buy the Switch version.
It's not that good.
No, the how to play people online is completely different. You have to know a person and send them a unique code for every session. And so there's no like, oh, just people are online.
Yeah, that's what like Andrew said until you had a train.
Approximately 2? Yeah.
2? Okay, that's probably fine. Because I totally forgot I was supposed to go somewhere with Vicky this afternoon, and I remembered it.
Where is she right now?
She's upstairs getting dressed. But we can play for a little longer.
Yeah. Okay.
She's gonna go pick something up from Oakbrook.
Okay.
Alright, so we're here playing some Windjammers casuals, getting ready for Combo Breaker next week. Slow show on player 1 side, I think. And we got BYOFG, Zagran. Over on player 2 side, and Zagran just got back from Arizona and won a tournament over there, so congrats to him. And he'll be running the Windjammers tournament at Combo Breaker next weekend, and I will be streaming it. So this is good practice for next week. And I got Celestial here, who's kind of learning the game, but you know, he's very good at learning games quickly. So see how he's able to do. I'm not sure if there's a set count or anything right now.
Ooh, hi. Yeah, I agree.
Can you turn down the TV volume just a little bit? Like 15. Alright, so well, you can keep playing a little bit. I want to practice commentating the game more.
Yeah, I mean, just if I me playing another aggressive game, if I'm doing that, it's an adaptive strategy or like that works against someone playing safe first. So when I initially start, I'm pretty much playing in front of the line here. And I think that like kind of as soon as I concept this in like tennis, it kind of turns into the key.
I thought you should be on the mic, Kenny, because you're explaining the game and I'm not as versed. Yeah, after this round, or after this game. We're gonna get our resident Windjammers player on commentary here. He can play while he commentates, he's better than us anyway, so he can take that handicap. Yeah, you gotta be really careful of the lobs because you just can't get there if you play too aggressively.
Unless you're ready to possibly go diagonal. It's just like, it's necessarily to die.
Alright, so how's the 5? So I kind of know why it's 5. Use the shadow of those things rather than the things themselves. Yeah, the shadow of them is actually where it's at, rather than the thing itself. It's slightly lower, but you can't even see it on first player side. You don't see it on the second player side. So you see this. Yeah. That's actually the location, so you got it in right there for 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the super long USB thing, so anybody can sit anywhere.
Doesn't matter then?
No,
Not for this game.
Thing. Okay. I can play. You saw I was playing on the Switch. I can play on the PS4 stick. I can play on whatever that's not a hitbox. Alright, you change that. I'll try it. Yeah, I don't like her as a character.
I do. She's my second character. She's who I play if someone picks BIG against me.
She's the only, according to the like tiers, which are kind of soft. C tier is the 2 heavy characters and Mita. You have a stage preference?
Just do it.
Or we'll do long. Okay. Yeah.
So really, because there's no comeback mechanic and there are no barriers in the beach and lawn usually, where if you're learning the game, we say kind of keep most of your games to one of those 2 stages. If you're gonna play in the tournament, definitely get used to concrete and clay because they're gonna come up. Someone's gonna try to counterpick them against you. But yeah, just for the sake of this, like beach and lawn, because we're focusing on shots right now and spacing. So. Alright, so we're on different sides. Oh. I am one player.
Oh, I need to switch these around then. Alright, fixing the players here. We got switched around. So for anybody watching this now or later on a VOD, this is the debut of the Good Normals t-shirt we got. Advertising our Twitter, our Twitch, and the NWI FGC Facebook group, which is NWI means Northwest Indiana. So we got about a couple hundred people in that group. Play on Wednesdays. And play a little bit of this game too.
So there's something I want to bring up, curve motion wise, that I actually originally kind of picked up from Jordy. That's one of the people, out from the East Coast. When it comes to curve motions, I feel like if you're playing a new character, there are 2 curve motions that you test right away. And usually one set of them is going to be good. So with Steve Miller, or BU if you're playing the Korean version, are we going to revenge?
Yeah.
You with this character or the 2 mid characters? They have what I like to call a C curve. I'll go ahead and show it to you here. So that is not a C curve. It's one of the harder motions to do. But what happens is it's going to arc kind of around whatever character, or just has a really good arc. And his is a bit more aggressive than the mid characters, but that motion with him and with the mid characters, it's 2 inputs. So you go from back to diagonal. So like back, down, back, or back, up, back. And those are going to be your C curves with those characters. With those, just really deceptive angles, especially at a high speed. You also, especially if you're at the net, those C curves are really good. So when you're trying a new character, definitely, try out their C curves, see how those flow for you. Always be ready to catch those, by the way, and always be facing forward, otherwise you'll get knocked in the net. Now, you want to be facing forward and you don't want to be moving. Either of those will give you more pushback when you catch the super shot. The second motion, and it's more so, it's with K Vessel and with G Scott, something I like to call the 80% motion. And so instead of like back, down, back, or back, up, back, 2 inputs, it's like you're doing a half circle, but you only do 80% of it. So you go back, diagonal, down, then diagonal forward.
That's the curve I usually use, is I guess what you're calling the 80%?
Yeah, or like back, up, forward.
Right.
So you don't do the full half circle. And so for the heavies, that's how you're going to get their C curves, or like their closest equivalent to a C curves. Their angles are not as sharp, but they're good shots to know, especially up close. So again, I got knocked back. I was dashing, I was still moving. So again, as you see, there are so many supersonic shots because of those lighter characters. Their window for a supersonic shot is just much larger.
Wow. Definitely the opposite of a lob in tennis, we call that a drop shot, so everybody's got to watch out for those two.
You want
pretty easy to telegraph in this game, but still can get you if you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's really just a thing. You got to remember it's there. You got to remember it's there.
You were moving.
Yeah.
So if you're moving or facing backwards, you can get knocked back on those shots.
And also, I mean, if you're a light character taking a power shot, it's just not a fun thing to do. take those a lot better if you Vessel or your G Scott. So that right there is probably the third motion I'd like to test with everyone. It's a TK motion, Tiger Knee. So go past the half circle and hit that diagonal up, or go past the half circle and hit that diagonal down. You usually get some interesting angles with your characters as well. One thing is, if you find those inputs a bit difficult, little known thing for a lot of people about Windjammers, even contrary to what the tutorial teaches you, it only reads the last 2 inputs of whatever you do. So if you hit 6 directionals, it reads whatever the 5th and 6th directional you hit are. It does not read the rest of the half circle or the, you know, TK motion or whatever you hit. But a lot of those angles are awkward, or those inputs are awkward, in which case you may just find it easier to, you know, do a lot of the motion, keeping in mind that most of it's not going to count, and just being really precise about what you actually do hit at the end.
Wow, that was a close match.
That's another thing, and more so with the heavy characters is useful. Sometimes, especially if they're scrambling, just throw it straight. There are a lot of times, you can even watch in high-level tournaments where, I mean, it's just someone just throwing them straight forward. And that speed's going to be faster with, you have a stage preference? That stage is going to, or those throws are going to be faster with the heavy characters down here because their natural throwing speed is higher. They walk slower, but they throw faster.
Right.
But sometimes, yeah, you just throw it forward. You'd be surprised how many times you catch people just throwing it straight forward, especially if you happen to catch it at the net. Now, Costa is going to be one of those characters where that back, down, back, or back, up, back, so the back diagonals, double input is probably the most dangerous curve in this game.
I feel like this is the character I've played the least against and as.
He's,
to be honest,
in the soft tiers, he's A tier by himself.
Small stages in this
Yeah,
game,
Child is not fun. So, Costa also has a really good custom super, especially from a distance, because what happens is it'll go up and down, and then it just goes in a random direction. It's not fun to deal with C like
really
that.
Strong.
And so that's one of the things about Steve Miller, the British guy, or K Vessel, their custom super. It's just not good. I would say Steve Miller's is probably the worst. It's really good if you're on tile stage, in that if you can hit it, that's a 5 because it goes along the walls. But that's only going to work against someone who's newer.
And I just feel like his super, everybody has access to something similar with the wall bounce. Like if I want to throw it along the wall, I don't need to pick him.
Right.
Everybody has. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but
right.
It's kind of like redundant almost.
Yeah.
Right. That is. I mean, is Miller's super any better than that? That's the question.
Right. Well, Miller's custom super is going to have more pushback. It's going to be the difference.
Okay. Oops.
So that's that C curve I was talking about, and especially at a high speed, it's just like, for some reason your brain just does not read it well. I can see that curve a million times, and I'll still just get hit by it. Someone just launches it first thing, and it goes in, and I'm like, it's Costa. I know it's gonna happen. I just get hit by it, like, multiple times sometimes. Same character, different character.
I'm playing every character twice if I ever.
Yeah. We should try him on a big stage though, so I'm actually going to exit here and pick a different stage. So let's go ahead and go to, I'm gonna go back to lawn. Because it's really going to show you, lawn's a good stage to get an idea of like curves, but also Beach or Tiled is going to let you know what those do on a narrow stage. So it's always important to know for your curves, how they behave on the wide stage and how they behave on the narrow stage. Because sometimes, once a good curve in one, it's just going to bounce off in a different stage. So those are the half circles for him.
Oops.
I was a fool. Or no, not the halves. Those are quarter circles. So back, down, down.
One thing I'm noticing, Andrew, in your play is like when you throw what you perceive to be a good shot, you don't do anything afterwards. Like you're like, I don't know. I feel like you're like sure it's gonna score, but you just gotta still be ready. It's like people in basketball that don't like
return to defense.
Right.
So there's that C curve, especially at the net. It's like, what are you gonna do? Because your brain, I feel like your brain goes, oh, it's going up and it's gonna bounce, and it just never does.
Yeah, especially on the large stage. I can see why that's powerful. No.
I was gonna
Walking backwards,
yeah.
right? So, well, if you want to do the drop shot, you use the lob.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get
There's a C curve again. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't hold
Yeah.
for too long.
There's a time limit.
Yeah, that curve would definitely get me.
So yes, especially with him and with Biaggi, those back to diagonal curves are just deadly.
Right.
Same stage. You're going to Biaggi?
Yes.
Then
do
we're
the
going to play
Biaggi
C
next?
stage. Yeah.
Let
You
me
want to
do
switch
the-
in?
No, I'll play against him.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
And then you can
Concrete.
talk.
So we're just going to be talking here. Guys, if you want to use those, try to use those C curves. And then also use your custom supers. So especially in the C stages, you're going to see a lot of Biaggi. His custom super just does silly things on this stage. How it works is, whenever it touches something, a surface, it changes direction. Now, how that's affected by these barrier stages playing concrete is that, of course, with these barriers in the middle counting as surfaces, they'll just do things. They go in directions. Which directions? I really think that as even the thrower, sometimes you just don't know. So there's a C curve again. I said custom super. Yeah, that's why you do it. So you know you're really going to try to get in front of the shot and throw custom supers if you're Biaggi on here because it just, yeah, it's something else. Another thing I think here, for defense, it's really hard to play at the net on this stage for some reason. I don't like it. Some people can do it. I just feel like with the barriers, it makes it already hard to read, and just the window's so short for really trying to get a hold or read of the shot. So, yeah, your Biaggi, I was just going to say, if you're at the net like that, you want to aim for those fives right there. So, straight shots. Those are going to catch a lot. Again, C-curves are a good idea, but his angle may be a bit sharper on this stage. I know Jay Costa's C-shot just goes into the 5. It's a bad time.
His will bounce a little bit.
Yeah.
It won't go right into the goal.
Well, here's another thing, though. I found this out from Tusho. One of the French players, you don't start in the same position every round. So what that means, sometimes you're in a different position by some pixels, And that's going to affect, you know, where you think you're doing the same thing. You're like, why was that one a 5? But then usually when I do it, it bounces. Or why is it that the custom super comes off a different way and I'm standing in the same spot? It's because technically you're not standing in the same river twice, so to speak.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it's just so subtle that you wouldn't notice.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for those curves. Good shot. Too hard.
There you go. Now he was looking into his own net, and I don't know why.
Oops.
I think he lost the contact. Wow.
Good shot.
Wow. Wow.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So,
He just couldn't get there. His grab box not big enough. If that were Vessel or G Scott, they would have caught it. Another thing I'm not seeing too much of is that in this stage, that a few throws ago, if I were right on the barrier like that, what I'm going to do is throw it at the barrier. And that's because that's about the most unpredictable thing you can do standing at a barrier. It's going to go in some direction. That other person doesn't know where it is.
Right.
You don't know where it is. So like take advantage of it.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was 1-1.
Be careful with that.
Yeah. That's where you should have bobbed. Go ahead and pick up, Clay.
Yeah. Same characters?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see myself ever picking the bottom.
I started out with G Scott and then moved up to K Vessel.
That was free.
It's kind of a similar idea here that you want to make use of those bumpers when you can. Come at them at the right angle so they bounce instead of just popping up. But also the custom super, if you can get ahead of the shot and use it, it's really good in this stage too. In that situation where you are throwing back and forth between each other, what I like to do is just catch and lob it. You're not going to get that back and forth from me. Just lob it, you have to go back, you know, we're back to square one. I don't want to deal with that situation where back, forth, someone throws something quick and unpredictable. I just like to end that as soon as I can. So,
that's why you pick him on this stage.
that is why you pick him
That's
on
why
this stage.
I picked this stage in tournament. Literally because of this character
Yes.
on this stage. And I think I even won the set against you. The game against you, not the full set against you. When we played in the last tournament, you took the whole set in the tournament.
But yeah, no, it's silliness. I mean, if I'm playing concrete or play, and I'm not character locked, I'm gonna pick the algae. I'm not even gonna pick my main.
Wow. Just watch that go down.
Still moving.
Yep.
So, you know, yesterday in Arizona, I was with one of our old friends, Chris. He was actually, he never played this game, but he found it very interesting. But during grand finals, the two commentators, there were 3 total, we both had to be we were in grand finals, and we needed someone else to commentate. So it was one guy who knows the game, and then Chris. And I think it's kind of underrated in a way. Often people have the technical person, and then they have the color commentary. Or they have like 2 color commentary, 2 technical. I think it can be really helpful actually to have someone who like knows games in general, but maybe hasn't played the game you're playing, because they ask a lot of good questions.
That's a good point.
And I think it's something that like a lot of streams should do more. That like, all right, cool, this person has game sense, but they're gonna ask the questions that someone who's watching the stream wants to know.
It's my least favorite stage.
Okay, so I guess I'm playing now.
I played the 4 characters for that.
No, you gotta try big characters.
I don't want to.
Come on. I already know how they work. They were my 2 mates.
For real.
Go to G Scott.
I'll play G Scott. I've never played G Scott
Yeah.
before.
So G Scott.
I've literally played 2 characters
Yeah.
in this game, by the way. I've played Mita and Miyagi, so I'm learning too.
So G Sky is one of those 80% curve characters I was telling you about. His C angle's not going to be as sharp, but it's important to know half circle and 80% curves with him. So there it goes. That's the C shot. And again,
Oh, wow.
especially at the
I'm
net.
not used to the big characters like.
Yeah. Especially those at the net, those C curves are gonna get you. Now he has a really good custom super. And I say it's a bounce, it's a fast bounce, but sometimes that thing just catches you. Now also the big characters, they throw the fastest, and so it's just like right now everyone moves slowly but needs to respond quickly to fast throws. And when I'm playing casuals at a tournament, I'm G Scott the whole time because my mobility
Good curve.
is so low. That's gonna force me to like wake up and be on my P's and Q's for when I'm playing my main in the tournament. But that whole time it's just like I'm gonna focus on the character where like I really gotta be on it for my mobility.
So, tell the people watching what's up with this stage. I
So
hate fucking
this
stage.
stage is great.
This
It is one of the best
New
stages.
Gen Fighters, the stage.
Yes, it's one of the best stages. This stage, when I saw it, I said, yeah, we're going to be winning. We're going to be winning big.
Oh my
we're going
God,
to be
I
doing
hate
so
this
much
game.
winning, you're going to get tired of winning. So, you'll see on the right, his red is a bit bigger. Every time you score, your red zone, which is the 5-point zone, gets larger. And then once the other person scores, it goes back to its regular size. But what that means is, since your red zone's bigger, the other opponent has a bigger chance to come back. So, it's kind of the Mario Kart effect, the comeback mechanic, the super meter in a way. Now, what's interesting though, is if you throw a
Between
regular...
sets, it doesn't reset.
No, between sets it does not reset. But also, if you score with a regular lob, it does not, was something where it doesn't grow for one person. So, can someone just score with a regular lob? And we'll see what I'm talking about here. Just let the lob drop. No, I need you, Josh.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I think that's my suspicion. Don't catch that. You had one job. Go ahead and get that and then throw the lob, please. Don't catch. That is a regular throw.
I ran out of time.
There you go. Now, so what you notice, he scored, but there's no reset. I need you to score. That's what it is. Andrew scored. No, I need you to score a regular shot that's not a lob, Andrew. No, actually, Josh scored. No, like, okay, yeah, never mind. Basically, sometimes
The
you run
lob
into
drops
situations.
don't
yeah.
affect
The
stage
lob drops
system.
don't affect the stage mechanics, and so you theoretically can end up in a situation where you have 2 very large red zones for both characters because they're scoring with those lobs or with those drop shots. For some reason, I don't know if that was deliberate or they just didn't take it into account as far as programming. But yes, that's a thing.
If you play your character. That's all.
No, we're playing G Scott. You got one more G Scott match.
Oh, I forgot it was 2.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, go
That's
ahead
fine,
and
you
go
can
on.
do
G Scott, what are you doing? No, don't be on your phone. G Scott. Right on, man.
Right on. Why does he catch between his legs? This is not-
Because he's
not
wearing
efficient.
he's wearing hiking boots, which is also not efficient. And he punches. Not efficient. So there's a C again. And there's another C. Big curves there.
So you're gonna go to that Michigan tournament?
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting that the pot bonus is by .emo. I wonder if they're gonna be there or something.
No, they do that sometimes, and it's so wacky how, like, they'll have larger tournaments, and there won't be a pot bonus, and then they, I don't know if it's their mechanism for getting people to join the thing or what. But like, a lot of smaller events will have those pot bonuses. You're just like, man, I don't know what you all are doing. But, hey, I mean, it's another opportunity to play this game, compete, and make some money. Just people need to enter, because right now there's only one person signed up. It's Odyssey there. And I know I played Odyssey at
if they did the tournament
Michigan
on Saturday,
Masters. Yeah.
if they put the tournament on Saturday,
There'd
I'd
be a
go.
lot more people able to join, I'm sure. But yeah, I played him at Michigan Masters, I remember. I felt kind of bad because I got him first round at Michigan Masters, but before that...
Was that grand finals?
Huh?
Was that also grand finals?
No. So Odyssey, I played in my first round, but I just played him in a whole bunch of casuals.
Oh, right.
But I played my fake character, and then we go into the tournament, and it's just like, yeah, so all that stuff you learned about how I play, that was just all lies. And so, yeah, it was not. Yeah, that reach. So yeah, G Scott, slow walk speed, short dash, just bad mobility. You really got to plan where you're gonna go very early with this character. He can throw very fast, and he can have a lot of pushback on the power shots. But yeah, you're not gonna cover much ground with him. So actually, I'm going to take back something I said earlier, in that if you do an 80% curve, you're going to get something like that, which is a good angle. But you see I've been throwing some of those that look a bit more like Costas curve. Those are the back, down back, or the back, up back. The 2 input motions, like right there. And so he actually does have those C curves also, as well as like the 80% motions, which are good curves, but not as sharp. So he kind of low-key, a lot of people, I think, and I heard some of it in the commentary yesterday for the Ascension tourney, they were like, heavy characters, they just don't have curves, vessels just don't have any curves. I think they're just such precise motions that are not intuitive to press.
Yeah,
and so, unless you sit and either play this game every day, talk about it in the Discord, or just really experiment with characters, you just are not going to find some of those motions. You really know the characters inside and out. Like, you got to play your character a lot, and you just got to sometimes go like, what does this do? What does this do? What does this do? In order to find what those really good curves are. And know that, any character can do something other than throw straight. Any character can. And it's just a matter, you got to learn of what to do when. So Vessel's one of the 80%. He doesn't have a down back really, but that's his, 80%. So that almost half circle motion is going to throw those curves there. They're actually really good in that whether you're on lawn or you're on beach, they're going to do the same thing. Unlike some characters where they may have a curve that's really good on wide stages, but on narrow, it just bounces off the walls or something like that. So as you saw there, it was actually still moving, but Wessel's so big that, he'll be able to stand those curves, get pushed back, and respond to it.
I just feel like there's situations when I play against you, I feel like the frisbee should be getting past you, but because I don't know, his hitbox or whatever is so big.
Yeah. Oh, he has a really good dash. And people don't, they say, all men are created equal, but K Vessel, he's not a man. He's a genetic freak.
Yeah, I feel like on the small stages, he just covers the whole stage from the dash.
Like
with
his dashes, he can play some really good
He
defense.
doesn't have to go all the way back to the T.
Right.
He can play in the middle because he can dash to anywhere from there, which seems very strong to me.
Well, I jokingly call him the Berlin Wall, but it's only a half joke. Now, the thing is, his custom super, as we've seen earlier, in tournaments and such, that custom super, one of the two bad supers. Besides Steve Miller's, which just kind of rides along the wall. The thing is, in order to catch it, really, I just say don't move from wherever it's being thrown, like be in that same angle.
Unless he's up close by the net, then it will go
right.
around
Then
you.
it'll do something different. It'll go around you or something like that. But also his TK motions.
I'm never gonna pick the heavy character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. So the TK motions are also very important with this character because he has two shots that look very similar. So if I throw here, it's going to come up, it's going to bounce. I know that. So, again. Now, if I do a Tiger Knee motion to where, like, a little bit more than a half circle, stop the diagonal, what's going to happen is it's going to hit the wall, and it's just going to stay along the wall. So it looks just like his bounce shot, but it's not going to come back down.
Right.
So you kind of mix that up with the actual bounce shot. So it's like, is it going to bounce? Is it not going to bounce? And, it's just part of, like, kind of that mind game that you want to play. And it's the same thing. You can go ahead and throw that shot along the ground, bounce it off the ground, or bounce it off the low end sometimes. But then sometimes don't bounce it. Again, do that kind of half circle, but then go to the down diagonal. And that's going to go in a straight line instead of bouncing back up. And it's that sort of thing when people, you talk about mind game here. You want to, sometimes you just throw the same shot over and over again to get people to move them either to a position or just have them like, okay, this is what he does. And, then finally, after you do it 5 times, do something else. But do it in a ludicrous amount of times, or, just you want to put things in their head. Things like, he's not going to throw that shot one more time, throw that shot one more time. Or, he always throws that shot, that's when you stop throwing that shot. Or, this is a bounce shot.
Yeah.
Alright, so, I'm going to continue talking. I guess, Mr. Travis has to go somewhere. Someone wants to talk to him. It's not me, because I'm right here. Right. Yeah. Good dash. You wouldn't expect it. Yeah, well, it's the same character. Just play it more.
Based on that, the audience.
Yeah.
Good.
In what way?
Mix between power shots and movement.
So that's that C curve I was talking about, the 80% motion for him. Why?
No. I'm talking about, there's like a curve that I'm doing that's pretty much going straight.
You're probably doing a half circle. Yeah, just don't move. You didn't want to. again, there are 2 buttons in this game. Sometimes it helps to remember that, just when they kind of forget that, hey, that's a thing. Go ahead and mod. Now, another thing is, for whoever you do play, generally your goal, a lot of new people are going to throw straight shots, but also they're going to use down throw or up throw. You want to get away from doing those kind of bank off the wall repeated shots as much as possible, I feel. You want to try to move as much. You can play Miyagi if you want. You want to try to move as much to throwing curves and throwing power shots as you can. That should make up most of your things, rather than, you know, especially down throw or up throw, because those are going to be the easiest to read. It just gives the disc that much more time to be on the screen. Scott was not going to reach that. His dive is just too short. So that's the thing about playing the net is you miss that shot once, it's gone. It's so fast. Another thing is, when you're just starting out, there's a tendency to watch the other character, or look back and forth between characters. Definitely want to get into the habit of watching the disc, and spending a lot more of your mental energy predicting the path of the disc as soon as it's thrown, as well as returning to neutral position, rather than concentrating on the other character. It's just not where your eyes should be, I feel, in this game.
So that was a interesting encounter I just had. A couple of years ago, I paid this guy to clean out all the stuff in the garage, in the basement. Excuse me. All the stuff in the garage in the basement that the previous people who lived here left behind. And I guess he remembered that I had old video game stuff. And of course I'm wearing a video game t-shirt when I go out there. And apparently he like remembered me from like 6 years ago. And came up to the house just now and talked to Vicky and said he needed to talk to me. And when I went out there, he had some like old Zapper Atari kind of game or something, and it wanted to know if I wanted to buy it, that he got from somebody's house, and it was just like some old like 1970s light gun game or something. It was a very strange encounter I just had.
Would you recommend Twin Cane or
It wasn't even like that. It was like a
home console thing?
Like a Intellivision or something with a little zapper.
Yeah, I don't even...
It was like in the box and everything. It's kind of neat, but I don't have any need for that.
Yeah, he could...
I don't have anything I could even hook it up to. I
told him that to like Disc Replay or...
Yeah, I told him about the like retro buy and sell gaming group on Facebook. There's a Northwest Indiana one. And he's like, I don't know anything about online.
Yeah, I would recommend a Disc Replay or the Exchange in Chicago, especially.
There's somebody who wants that. Somebody in the world wants that thing to complete their collection.
I would have told it, yeah, the Exchange would have been my like. Check out this place. So they just tend to know about everything. lot of my BYOFG stuff I get from the exchange. If they don't have it, they are always able to locate it and direct order some things.
So one thing that's about to happen on the screen is there'll be a timeout, and we do play with 99 seconds, which I believe is the
Yes, the max.
It's the max. He threw it to outer space.
He killed someone in the crowd.
But unfortunately, I have like a bootleg arcade thing in my basement. It's got Windjammers on it, but the system doesn't allow for any kind of micro switches or anything like that.
Can't
so
get
it's
into
stuck
the BIOS.
BIOS, that's what it's called. And so it's stuck on 30 seconds, and 99 seconds does not seem to run out of time very often and feels like a very long time. 30 seconds, which is slightly less than a third of that, feels like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Like you get
Someone
one
scores
goal
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. There's no way to get into that on that system, but it felt good considering how much play this game has gotten in this house in the last few months. Feel good to support by buying the most recent official release, and of course I'll be getting Windjammers 2 probably on PS4 and Switch.
Hopefully they fix
and
the online
PC.
code on Switch. That matchmaking is just bad. No,
there isn't ranking, right? There's just
there's
player
ranking, but the problem is, so okay, you can do ranked, or you can do like custom match on PS4. So custom match, you say custom match, and then you can just from there directly pick who out of your friends list you want to invite.
Right, I see.
Now, Switch
Nintendo
does not
friend
have
code
that.
system.
Yes. So what Nintendo does, someone can be on your friends list, but there's no direct way to like press X and invite them. You have to send them via text message or Discord or online Facebook message a 4-digit code that is unique to that game session. And if you don't know how to reach that person, they're on your friends list and you're gamer friends, but you just don't have their number or something, guess what? You can't connect to play Windjammers.
So Vicky's telling us that the audio is quiet. I have it at max for this thing. Is it the game audio is quiet or the commentary is quiet?
Yeah. Yes, there are already 2 new characters. So there's Grace. She's the British character, and she looks, kind of punky. She's got like a white streak and colored hair. She's alt. Alt is the word I've used. And then they copied a page from the Tekken and Street Fighter 4 rulebook, and instead of G Scott, right now the American character is a fat white guy. Yeah, I'm pretty tired of that trope. I also would really hate if they get rid of the black character and you just have no black character and then you have a fat white guy for America instead. That would kind of suck. There'd be no more G Scott weekends, or maybe it's a permanent weekend. But yeah, so far they have shown those 2 new characters, Grace and Max, which, there's so many American characters named Max. I think that Japan thinks that's, or Europe, Japan, everyone else thinks that's a much more common name in America than it is. But they've also shown Mita and Vessel. And Vessel has pink hair for some reason, and he has a very serious trucker mustache. It's great. I can't play to pick him with his trucker mustache.
So, yeah, I'm trying to increase the
Peace.
look at the test of the microphone. We're only getting that much out of it. Hello. Yo! I don't want to shout, though.
That's weird. Is this the old mic or the new one?
This one I bought yesterday.
Yeah, this is the new one. Interesting. What time is it, by the way? 1. Okay.
Interesting. Levels, I put it at the go.
Cool. It's better we're finding this out now than finding this out.
Yeah, this is a good reason to do this. Okay. Let me try. Oops, I didn't want to close that. Yeah, just keep going. I'm fine.
Oh, it's me. You have a stage.
I really.
No, you need to see stages more.
All right, so how about on this setting? It's getting a little bit louder, and I have a third setting. Hello, hello, hello. It's a little bit better, but I think this is gonna give us the best. But still seems really quiet. I don't want to have to stand this close to talk.
No, thank you.
That's the point of buying one of these guys.
Come on.
But at least it's a little bit better, I think.
This stage is done.
Yeah.
So Vicky said her phone's on max volume and it still seems really quiet. I can increase the game volume. That's easy. That I can put up, but I don't want to
Right, the speech audio. Yeah.
overriding the speech. I wonder. You know audio stuff. If I do something with gain, is that gonna help at all?
Where are we at? With the try it. It may. It's the most likely suspect out of what I'm looking at.
So
I have to test it out and see.
Whoa!
Now we're in the red. Bring that up to maybe the yellow and see what that.
Okay, I think that was our issue.
Now we're in red again. Yeah. All right, so check that, and we need feedback on how loud that is.
Vicky said better.
Okay, so bring that down from the red though, obviously.
Okay, I put it on to setting 2 on there, which is just in front.
Cool.
So I think if we're staying between,
we're staying out of the red.
Hey, I think we fixed it.
Cool. So that's the game. There you go.
All right. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't want to mess with anything software related until I made sure it wasn't a hardware issue.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool because I did just buy this thing yesterday, so I'm glad I don't have to return it. But our friend recommended a lot of very expensive equipment, and I went to Guitar Center and Best Buy and talked to a couple people there. And the guy at Guitar Center did recommend kind of a more pro audio setup.
Yeah.
But still, his was in the hundreds of dollars. Wasn't quite the $1,000 that.
So that's the Power G Scott.
But this thing was $60. So if it does a pretty good job, then I'm pretty happy.
So do you have this and one other mic?
I have this in a headset.
Cool. Okay.
But this is built to have multiple people be able to talk into it without having to do that, which is the game was the issue.
Yeah.
And then what's nice is, we're getting a little bit of audio from your stick, but obviously at the tournament, the person playing won't be right next to the person. I have 50-foot HDMI cable, so we can be as far away as we need to be from the setup.
Cool.
And then on Wednesday, when people come over to play games, I'm going to have whoever comes over help me pack this stuff up, because I'm going to Combo Breaker on Thursday from work. I'm not even coming home that night, so I got the hotel room. And then Neil is going to come to my hotel room on that Thursday or Friday to test everything together.
Cool.
And so on Saturday, we should be all good.
Awesome.
I looked at my pools. I don't have any pools that would happen during this, but if I make it out of pools in something... Oh, also, we're in the same pool for Mystery Game Tournament.
Yay.
That'll be fun.
Of course.
We're in the same pool for a game that we both made top 16 in at that tournament.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like about time if I get seeded.
it's seeded. They do seed it.
Well,
Anybody who's made top 3 has been seeded.
Oh,
That's the only people.
Top 8?
Yeah, you have to have made top 3 to be seeded. So I'm actually seeded for Mystery Game, which is hilarious.
It's so odd to play her now that I played Sword.
Yeah.
Played everybody else.
Yeah. Wait, I'm Biaggi. Why am I Biaggi? I'm at Big G Scott.
I don't know why you're Biaggi. You like him, and it's his stage. So you saw the stage and you just automatically went to him.
I did. I mean, it's what I would do in the tournament, but I wasn't trying to do that. So again, you end up close to those barriers. You want to aim towards those barriers.
Okay, so I'm not getting like the. You have to straight shot off the barriers. So like, why is that happening?
Because you're hitting it right on the corner rather
Yeah.
than angling it better into it. Plus, you're doing it off of shorter shots.
Yeah.
Think of it like. Well, let me wait till around. Think of it like this thing. You're hitting right there instead of bouncing it off of one of the
Yeah, I got you.
sides.
I see now.
You want to get the meteor part of it.
Dude, that was dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is. I just feel so comfortable on this stage.
They're fine. I like Clay. I know Mike. Mike D. Neo Geo Mike. He does not like Clay.
I know, that's why I picked it
This
against
is
him.
bad.
That's the only reason why I won the tournament that I won against him in Grand Finals is because I picked this stage in the last couple sets. That was a different. That was different.
Okay.
This stage produces the best situations. Like when Mike scored on himself
Yeah.
in this stage.
Good times.
Ooh, what? Why?
Because it touched the wall, and it had nothing else to touch. And, yeah. Because Biaggi on the barrier stage, that's why.
Yeah, for real.
Ouch! My life. Now, something you may not have noticed there, if you were watching this on stream, you could rewind it. The two characters did not start at an equal horizontal axis. They were very offset.
See, I wonder if it's where they end the round.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but they were very clearly Biaggi was higher, Mita was lower.
Right. Yeah, she's way lower right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pay attention to that after the round.
Yeah.
Good use of the lock.
Yeah.
I think.
See,
I
now they're
wanna say-
equal.
I want to say it's because the round doesn't start by them teleporting into position. They
Yeah.
walk to their position.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing wherever you are, like they always walk back.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if once they get close enough to the middle, that just stops
Yeah,
their
I don't know.
walking. It's kind of interesting.
But yeah, that was pretty blatant a few turns ago. They were
Look at those
definitely-
bounces.
Yeah.
So as the best player here, how do you?
Oh my god.
How do you feel about something I've tried a few times and I don't know how viable it is? I don't know if I've ever talked about it. Is like letting people get 3s and 2s when timer's low or when you're ahead by enough.
Oh
so
no, that's
just-
real. That's the thing. You
thing,
want to waste
right?
time.
Yeah, so you're
You generally
scared of 5s.
Yeah, if you watch
like I
French streams, they'll throw a lot of lobs if they're trying to lame it out, because those just take up so many seconds, and then yeah, they will. What they'll do is they'll like get in front of a shot, let it bounce, and then just like let it fall to the ground, and so they give up the 2.
Right, that's what I was saying. I feel like that's definitely got to be something.
Yeah,
Something I figured when I was
because
playing,
that
like,
clock just keeps going.
like if I'm at 11 and you're at 8, I really don't care if you get
Right.
2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
I only care if you get a 5. So
Well, I mean, you care about.
I mean,
the
you
tie.
care, but I'm talking about if there's like 10 seconds left
Yeah.
or something.
No, I'm saying you care about the tie. So really, you don't want a 5, because if it's 11, if it's 11 to 8, and they get a 3,
Oh, that's
you're
true.
gonna both get points.
Okay, so I see what you're saying.
But yeah, if it's like 11 to 7,
Yeah.
you let them get the 2 or the 3. It's fine. But yeah, you don't want to tie. Tying in this game is volatile. No. Unless you're already up ahead a set, in which case, remember, both people get points, so you would just win.
Yeah.
Are there half circles 80% backwards or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
And try all those.
I'm gonna get a couple more.
If you can think of it, try it.
No, I don't. I just got done playing part of
Switch seats.
Yeah. Alright, so I am not playing anymore. This game is too difficult, so I quit.
Okay.
My computer needs RAM.
Download more.
Alright, so let's do this like it was a tournament set.
Okay.
2 out of 3 or 3 out of 5?
You tell me.
3 out of 5.
A
First,
3 out of 5.
First to 3.
So it starts on random,
Yep.
right? Because it's PS4.
And you get Clay. Of course you get Clay. This is nonsense. This match doesn't count.
Biaggi too. It
Pathetic.
counts. 0-0.
So no matter who wins, we all lose. Alright, so good straight shots here.
Shoot.
Again, their strategy, both of them really want to get in front of the shot so they can go ahead and throw power shots. Additionally, they want to make use of those bumpers, the barriers right in the middle. Josh is taking off his watch right now, and Andrew does not care.
Okay,
Alright,
I'm fine.
so now we're back to the match. He threads the needle. He gets a supersonic shot.
Alright,
And pie.
it's fine.
Is it 3, 14, and 9, 11 happen a lot in this game. Back and forth straight shots here. Good use of the bumper. That's what you want to do. You want to make use of that bumper. And again, you want to get in, get some of those power shots if you can also. That's what you do. Clay. That's what you want to do if you see someone's net playing there. They're a bit aggressive. They can't get back in time. Take advantage of it. Get used to the middle again. Good bounce. Yeah. Good wall shot. So Slusho is going to take that. Well, he's sliding, but he wears no knee pads. I don't know how that works out for him. He uses the bumper, he catches, gets in front of that, and he was not ready to catch it. He used the bumper. And he was too far to go ahead and catch that. Kind of guessed wrong there. Supersonic is supersonic. Gets in front of it for the power shot. It doesn't get the good bounce. Alright. Some good play here. And if I sound like I'm announcing golf, it's because I'm very sleepy and have not really slept since 2 nights ago. I had a very early / late flight into Arizona, and a very early / late flight back here, and then I came straight to Indiana as soon as I got back to the Midwest in O'Hare. So I'm definitely going to be asleep all day once I get home. Anyway, back to this match. Just some good straight shots here. There's that net play. It either pays off big or costs you big time. He was not ready to counteract what Mr. Travis was doing, and that's what Mr. Travis was talking about earlier. When you throw it, you want to be ready to get back on defense right away to catch. I always play it as assume your opponent is going to catch whatever you're doing. And he gets a good bounce there. 1-2-1. So we're going to change settings here. We're going to yawn. I'm already very sleepy. This is not going to help. Right, so Slusho changes to Mita because the problem was the sun was in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. The sunglasses.
No more barriers here. It's a very wide stage. So really, you know, call this one of the two neutral stages. You just gotta keep a good eye on the path of the disc as soon as it's launched and be ready to respond. This is a net shot. What you want to do if you're Mita, you want to lob at some point. You want to push Biaggi back from hanging out at the net there and being so aggressive. If you're Biaggi, you definitely want to catch those shots. And you're going to play the net like that, catch them and throw them right away. It's about those quick throws, taking advantage of the fact that you're so close to the goal. Either way, I'm not happy with such outright fraud on either side. It makes me very angry, and everyone should be ashamed of what they're doing. 3-3.
Being too aggressive?
That's the thing about playing that against Mita. You know, Mita can dash, and she has really good positioning to get wherever she wants. So as long as she's not taking power shots, or she's able to get in front of him like that, she's going to be able to get to wherever it's going. She just needs to have a correct read. So most of those, you'll notice, where Biaggi scores here, Mr. Travis, she dove the wrong way. And even so, I mean, sometimes she can dive the wrong way and then dive the right way twice and get back to it. She's just that speedy. Well, she wasn't wearing the sunglasses to hide the sun. It was to hide her tears. It is 2-1, Mr. Travis. Supersonic. Mita was not ready to catch it. Another supersonic. Mita has the largest supersonic return window or timing.
I do.
So she's either going to throw it very slowly or she's going to get that supersonic most of the time. No comment on that. Let's just pretend it didn't happen. So one thing I would like to see Biaggi do more is use that back down back and that back up back, that C curve. It's very good. And it's definitely something that you want to make use of and just practice getting used to doing. Straight shot here. Seems maybe we're missing a couple of the dashes. Supersonic shot. Wow. You know, another thing about getting in front of the shot, so to speak, and parrying it or blocking it for the super. I feel like once you discover that that's an ability, a lot of times you probably try to go for it more than you should. I think it's a beginner mistake versus just getting in front of most shots, and if you see it's coming to you, go ahead and parry then. I think there can be a tendency to try to parry things that are not coming in your path and getting into the path as you parry or block. I think you should be blocking things that are obviously coming your way, or a very short time where you have ample time to get into that spot. Otherwise, you'll let a lot of shots get in just because instead of dashing and walking, you were parrying, and you're like, I thought it was coming to me and it wasn't. So I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna move on in this chapter of my life. Some bounces here, some bounces. Not too many curves. Throwing a lot of straight shots and bounces. Straight shot because he was at the net. That makes sense.
Oh my god.
So that was actually a bounce off the wall there. And sometimes that gets people, you know. It's like they're not gonna, it's 2-2. They're not gonna go ahead and bounce it right off the wall. That would be stupid. They're facing the wall. Who throws something at a wall that they're facing?
You can't switch character if you want.
Yeah, so this doesn't count, which means that Slusho, he actually loses a point for picking the wrong character.
So it's back to 2-1.
So it's 2-1. Because he should have picked Mita, and if you break rules, you're gonna pay. No, so it's 2-2. But if he does it again, he'll actually have negative points. So this is for everything.
Oh my god.
I don't know what happened there. And Mita zig when she should have died. Wow, that was a good curve. So Mita was walking back and forth. When I get back to my center position, a lot of times I like to just stand there. I feel like there's some, you know, kind of a danger in doing too much before they launch.
Good.
9/11, here we go.
That's better.
That was smart. You dash there. So 12-11, Mr. Travis is going to take the first set here. You know, then very slow bounce that no one should ever do. 3-0 here. Supersonic shot. Lob. And right away at the supersonic return. And that worked for some reason. Good decision. That's what you want to do. Lob. Catches the corner, so it's going to bounce. This is nonsense. I don't know what I did in life to deserve this. Alright. It's gonna fire snake. Yeah. So it's 9-9. This could go either way. The throw is right at the net. We did a straight shot there. Think that bounce was exactly what gave Mr. Travis time to catch it, but then he falls for the bouncier bounce. I don't know. So this is going to be for everything. The winner wins all the fame and clout. The loser is banned from Alcott. So you would hate to see Josh lose here, because I don't know where he's going to live. So it is 3-3. The slow bounce, I don't know what's with these slow bounces here. I guess this is just like an Indiana thing, like lemon rice soup maybe. Another supersonic shot, another supersonic, and he gets in front of that. That was very good. But then he throws a straight supersonic shot for some reason, and it takes the power lob. So Andrew is banned from Alcott. Yeah. I don't know what he's gonna do, but I'm not banned from Alcott. So
me versus you.
I mean, sure, yeah.
Yep.
I kind of like random start as opposed to beach start.
Yeah.
Well, the
I mean, it's
I just like playing on random.
Yeah.
Trying to make this character work.
The character has decent half circles ish, but that backwards half circles, not good.
No.
How does this keep going? Being the random stage.
Yeah, one thing is, I would definitely like to see you dash more than you dash. There were things that I honestly feel like you just didn't get because you're being kind of lazy.
Well, it was just I was over dashing before, like, and
That's me though. You're gonna over dash.
Yeah, she dashes all the fucking time.
Rather than under. Take advantage of that's the character's thing.
right there exactly what
there's
the ground
no
is
ending
talking
there.
about. As far as if it's both net playing, just lob it. Doesn't waste time with a stalemate.
So that's another thing is sometimes you're gonna fake like you're gonna throw the power shot. Just don't throw it.
Yeah. Good net play. I don't know how to net play yet in this game.
Most of the time, when in doubt, lob it back.
Yeah.
Avoid the situation.
So, like, would you lob to kind of reset your own position?
Yeah.
Okay.
Out of here. See, I decided I want to deal with it, so
Yeah. Okay.
just cut that off.
All right there.
You see, you're
See,
me. You
she-
can dash back for that.
She can definitely move a lot more than I was doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why you pick her.
Yeah.
I was just using the walk speed, but the dash
No,
speed
you
is
dash,
there
man.
too.
You dash a lot. This character. Super Nintendo. We're red. That's the thing. A return lob can go in any of the three areas. You gotta be ready. You gotta return to the center after you throw that lob.
Yeah, this stage is big enough for her special to work.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Supersonic window is the biggest. Alright, so you want to use back to down quarter circle. I feel like that's a good card.
Okay.
Especially at the net.
See him there. I feel like most of the time she doesn't have like the catch range of other characters, but just compensating with that movement, yeah. Like G Scott was just catching everything.
Yeah.
The one time you don't log.
That bounce. Jesus Christ.
So quick returns.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Yeah.
Shit. I keep trying to get that. I curved way too much. That's what I've been trying to do this whole time.
Yeah. I think you're never gonna consistently get that because you start off at a different horizontal axis.
Yeah.
That curve was.
That was back to up.
That
Quarter
was
circle.
stupid fucking curve.
Back
wasn't it?
up?
So back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were quarter circles like that.
Yeah.
Pardon.
So I'm gonna say another thing is when it starts going crazy, honestly, go to the bottom.
Okay.
There are a lot of the situations where once it hits the bottom wall, it just rides the bottom wall.
It's because of the.
Good throw. Good straight. What happened?
What is going on? Am I having trouble with my curves too?
She did her best impression of it.
Why?
That was the back to down circle, or the back to down quarter circle. Yeah.
You just fell the wrong way and it messed you up.
That was quick
That's
3-0.
three. Hey, I know how to play this game.
I played it before.
Yeah.
Once or
I think you
twice.
guys gotta go, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah, once or twice I played this game.
You saw it.
But yeah, so back to down or back to up quarter circle, those are very good with her. So definitely use those more.